for the wrongful distribution of prescription opiates and damage caused thereby. Mr. Igliozzi.
I have not received any response from that law firm. I would just, if you want to just trail this to the next document, just keep it on in case I get any further information. I'm clear on what the council wants to achieve. We're not in a position right now to pursue a private lawsuit. That would probably be a direction in the meeting. But if I get some more information.
There was a recent settlement in the newspaper in regards to this thing.
Yes.
And like, the only people that make money are these people on the front page. I'm sorry. And I'm just wondering.
And don't forget, we're already in the other class action negotiation. So that doesn't cost us any money. We have to, so we're in that. You recall that one? This is one where we're going to hire, retain a firm to actively file some litigation.
Right. There's no fee on this one either, but I'm just wondering.
Well, there's a big percentage on the contingency fee there. There's a big contingency fee.
I'm just wondering if we're better off just cutting bait on this one.
Saying yes or no? What do you mean by cutting bait? Yes or no?
Just say no. We're done with this. I mean, if we can't get an answer on this, where they going with it?
I did make several calls and sent emails, and never received a response from the law firm.
Yeah, I mean,
If I get a response, I'll go back on the email.
the settlement that just came through, where it ended up going, I can't remember what I heard, where the settlement ended up going. It didn't go to town or victims or anything.
I'm not even aware of the settlement. What I'm saying is, I put this on the agenda as you know, to wait for a response from the law firm. I haven't received one, so.
Well, this time I would say no action be taken and not be returned until we have an update.
That's fine.
Next item, discussion by council vote or action on second reading of budget use of renewable energy power generation revenue ordinance.
Mr. President, again, when I came here today, if you don't mind, the finance director, I'm sorry, it's been late, pointed out that she had some suggested language changes on that. So I would just ask that continue. Putting aside the policy issue, she's recommending some clarifications about adding words tax, tangible tax in their various parts. Really language changes, not substantive policy changes. So I'd ask you to put it again, so at least get those changes before you. Maybe the clerk would just tell us what they were. I just thought. Yeah, I'm not.
That's why
The finance director, just so the council's aware, and then we can.
Put it on the next, just move it to the next agenda, but she can give us the updated language.
Yes, do you want to wait till next agenda?
We haven't seen it, so. Motion to move to the 18th agenda.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mrs. Igliozzi, to table to the 18th.
Can we do road salt, Mr. President? Can we get the guests out of here? 5 o'clock comes early.
And we have one other thing, the last.
5 a.m. comes early.
And
Motion to waive the rules and move up on the new business item G. Hang on.
we need to vote on that.
M.
You didn't vote on that.
Roll call vote.
Probably second.
Mrs. Bernamoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. O'Shea?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
This is G, correct? No, what are we
No,
voting?
we voted on moving D to the 18th.
Yep. Yes.
Yes. At this time, I would recommend that we waive the rules and move up for immediate discussion. Item G, discussion by council vote or action on road salt agreement, Mr. Jesus, and discussion by council vote or action on recommendation from sewer commission on change order number 8, Parkview Drive and Edward Ave is Mr.
Shatnoff.
Mr. Shatnoff is in. Mr. Jesus, you have for us on road salt. Well, it's up now. We're waiting.
Cindy, right? Somebody?
She's waiting for lunch.
I'm already up there. Can we move up M? Any gone?
This is just a road salt recommendation that came from the Director of Public Works to purchase from Champion Salt, piggybacking off the City of Providence. Contract $46.70 per ton, and also using the MPA to purchase from Morton Salt at $55.49 per ton.
We've got a recommendation from the Finance Director. Is there a motion to award road salt agreement with Champion Salt in the amount of $46.70 a ton, and with Morton Salt in the amount of $55.49 per ton? Both of them are off of, one is off the City of Providence, MPA, one is off the State of Rhode Island, MPA. There's a motion by Mrs. O'Hara. Second by Mrs. Bonioli. Ray, the reason for this is just so we have two vendors, we're not tied to just one in case there's a supply issue.
Yes. Both invoices are, a little lower, pennies lower than last one.
Any other discussion?
M?
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. O'Shea?
Yes.
Mrs. Wojcicki?
Yes.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes. Next, discussion by council vote other action on recommendation from the sewer commission on change order number 8 from Parkview Drive and Lakewood Ave sewer project. Mr. Schott.
Thank you, Mr. President, and members of the Town Council. I'm here to talk about, present change order number 8 for the Parkview project. It is the last change order for this project that project is now complete as of today. The final final patching required and supplied some bolts for the sewer manholes. So the project is done. We don't have the actual invoice, the last invoice. That will be next month. For it. So this particular change order has 5 items. It is sort of the last reconciliation of the project costs and so forth. This was a unit bid project, if you recall, and some of these items are basically based on the unit bid, change in quantity for several of them. And then we had to negotiate some prices for some changes in work. So the first one is a change on a temporary fence. It turns out that we had they actually installed less temporary fence than was in the original bid, but we made a change in the contract, and instead of making a rubber change, we made an error. So we need to compensate them for $1,000, $1,150 for that. Item 2 deals with price changes because of changes in quantity. There was less saw cutting required. That saves some money. And we changed the patch. Because we know the road is going to be rehabilitated, we decided that we didn't need an extensive patch as what was the original bid. So we reduced that, and we had to negotiate that price. And that came up to $1.61 per square foot. So that is another savings that's been through. We also, in that patch, this was negotiated early on in this project, and we actually reduced the contract amount by the amount that we thought we could save. Well, it turns out that the contractor didn't actually charge us. So having reduced that by change order, we need to put it back in. So as a result, we had that $9,372. There was still less cost for patch as a result of the project being done. We also had, we admit to an error on loam and seed. We had estimated 870 square yards of loam and seed, but the bid came out with 870 square feet. It was a factor of 9 difference. And the cost for that we determined was excessive. And we notified them early on that we wanted to renegotiate that price. It was $3 a square foot, and we were able, over the course of time, to reduce that to $1.18 per square foot. So it doesn't cost as much as what was originally bid, probably saving over $20,000 by renegotiating this. But there's still an additional cost. We haven't paid them, we've only paid them $2,600 for loam and seed so far, and the loam and seed work is all done. The final one is number 5, which is the change order associated with the add alternate item. We also found that there was substantially more rock in the add alternate area, which we had to pay for. And fortunately, we were able to reduce a number of items. We put only one manhole instead of 2. We didn't have to clear the site because it was cleared by the contractor beforehand. And that resulted in, instead of a full increase in cost because of the rock, it was only $10,000 additional cost over the bid item, which was $57,000 some odd dollars. So the net result is a request for a change order of $24,095.61. And request for approval of that change order.
Heard the recommendation of Mr. Shatner for the Sewer Commission. Is there a motion to approve a change order number 8 on the Parkview Drive Edward Ave Sewer Project in the amount of $24,095.61.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Bonioli, there a second?
Second in discussion.
Second, Mr. Zelinski.
Ms. Chapman, forgive me, I'm a little rusty on my land development subdivision regulations when it particularly comes to road resurfacing. So under number 2, under change order number 2, new bid price for patch was established for Parkview. Hopefully it's still in the land development subdivision regs, but the road has to be swept and a tack coat put down so that additional, whether it be 1.5 or 2 inches of bituminous is going to adhere to the existing coat. Is that correct?
Right. But in this case, all they did was patch the open trench.
That's it.
They just patched the open trench so there was no tack coat required. And again, this roadway is scheduled for full reconstruction.
Yeah.
And I understand it's going to be totally milled. All the asphalt will be milled. So it turns out that we didn't actually, what we were going to do was 2 1.5 inch thick courses of asphalt over the trench itself. It wouldn't have been over the pavement, over the trench. And the decision was made to just do 1 2-inch thick deposit of patch. And that saved a significant amount of money. And I have to say that they did a good job in that patch. And it was at least 2 inches, if not more, in the areas that they used it. And they also have gone back to maintain that patch as late as today. They went out in one area that was sunken. They actually had attention.
So the disturbed area with the patch, that was compacted, of course, correct?
Correct.
Came down,
That's right.
and then you put on the, not you person, but then the bituminous was put on?
Correct.
Okay, and then we're looking forward to, by the expense of others, to repair that entire road, or we used to call it 3 Rs, I don't know what they call it, but the road's going to be resurfaced, right?
By the town.
By the time.
By the town, by others, meaning us. I just want to make sure that that patchwork is in good condition so that if by chance we come in and put down more bituminous, it doesn't concave, doesn't sink in.
That road is being fully ground down and fully reconstructed like all of our other roads. They're taking all that asphalt out,
Yes.
correct?
It's
Starting with a new base.
built in place, I believe. Some public works director is here, he could say what the proposal is for resurfacing or repairing that roadway. If you need to.
No, I don't want to put Mr. Pendergast on the spot. No, it's okay. Just please make sure that it adheres to our land development subdivision. It's Rhode Island Department of Transportation documents that we adhere to when we do our roads. Basically, it's our blueprint for following construction of town. So hopefully,
Mr. Debroisse.
We already have a contract in place with Miozzi Construction that you authorized.
Yep.
We're,
just want to make sure that the temporary patch was done properly, because if you go over that,
it's actually,
resurface it.
yeah, no, you won't be going over anything. This road's going to get milled down to 12 inches. All of the asphalt, as well as the sub base, will be ground ground up and relaid,
Yeah.
and then paved over. So the point is moved at this point.
Just wanna make
What we
that-
needed was a patch to be able to get through to the time that we reconstruct the road.
Yeah, but the disturbance itself, to lay the lines, as long as that was all compacted, and then we can move forward with our 3-hour, 4-hour, whatever the hell we're gonna do out there. I wanna make sure it's not a problem, that's all.
Yes, and of course, the path that's in place will be milled, so it's not going to be taken away.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara? Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mr. Zulinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Mrs. O'Hara, do you want to move something else?
Yes. M,
I recommend that we waive the rules and move up item N under new business. Discussion by council, what other action on change order to contract with Miozzi Construction to add reconstruction of the town's portion of Rhodes Ave. Mr. Igliozzi?
We have a proposal. As most of us are aware, Rhodes Avenue is in very poor condition. And as we went forward with the program to do 2 miles of road this year, we did not include Rhodes Avenue as it was not identified as one of the primary targets in the study done in 2014 by Casali Engineering. But since 2014, it's apparent that Rhodes Avenue, or our section of Rhodes Avenue, which is a very short section, has deteriorated rapidly. It has been patched repetitive times. It needs to be done. We are in a state with this current contract with Miozzi. To their credit, they've done outstanding work. Where, in my opinion, where the work has been completed, where we've had a challenge, and I think they would agree, is the scheduling. But all that said, we do expect them back in town next week to do the Linson and Lorraine, and they have committed to us that they're willing to add Rhodes Avenue to their work at the total cost, I think, of $32,000, which has been reviewed by our engineer on the project, DPW, and myself, and strongly endorse that, strongly recommend that the council endorse that as a change. We're not looking to actually increase the total amount of that contract. We think at this point that the budget that we had will hold up. We haven't had the estimated quantities by the engineer, by PAR, have been very, very close and actually less. The actual work has been less. And we're fortunate on Great Road in particular, which is where we expected if there was going to be a problem that we would see it there because of the potential for rock that we would have to deal with. We did not. That project went smoothly, as did the 3 streets before it. We anticipate at this point that we're working within the numbers that we have originally stated for the project. So we encourage the addition of Rhodes Avenue to the project.
May I add something, Gary? There were about 7 calls this week, and there's 2 ladies on each line, and they're ready to go door to door. They travel that every day. They even thought maybe when Zaka went to help us, that would go far. But they were very concerned, and I couldn't get a hold of her tonight, but she had
It clearly needs to be done, no question.
There's a motion there's a recommendation by the administrator. There's a motion to approve change order in the amount of $32,760.05 to Miozzi to do the resurfacing on the town section of Rhodes Avenue.
so moved.
Motion by Mrs. O'Hara.
Second.
Second by Mr. O'Hara. Under discussion, it's probably an opportune time to do this because Misaka is doing their section of the road right now, so basically the patch and match up pretty nicely. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Matt?
Yes. Go back to our regular